to do with the mother. You see it all the time with dogs. If there's something wrong with the bitch, then there's something wrong with the pup. Shut up! Shut up!
I first met the directors, Alfonso Cuarón, and our conversation was not so much about acting ability or anything. It was about, are you up for a stunt? He wanted someone who was prepared to suffer.
Let me tell you.
So, let the suffering begin.
2 layers of latex, which have to be airtight, into which compressed air is fired. And I reached the point where I was unable to walk because I was as wide across as I was high, and I had to be wheeled around on a very large porter's trolley. It was torture.
Our next moment is a real hoot. Sorry. 4 Privet Drive, home to the dastardly Dursleys, the magic-denying muggles who do all they can to prevent Harry from attending Hogwarts.
Fine day, Sunday. In my opinion, best day of the week. Why is that, Dudley?
Because there's no post on Sundays.
Right you are, Harry. No letters today. No, sir. Not one blasted little...
Cedric's death was horrifying to watch.
Let me through! Let me through! That's my son! This is my boy!
Jeff Raw, he gave an almighty performance when after, you know, that was getting us a little bit teary. Even Draco was getting close to tears thanks to Jeff.
No!
Well, it was the first time a main character, a good guy, had died, and it was very real, and I think that was when Harry Potter really grew up. That was when we suddenly realised that this is war, people are going to die, and it was the terribly good-looking Robert Pattinson as well, so it was sort of, wow, they killed him.
Good evening, Mr. Potter.
Harry Potter encounters many monsters on his travels, but few are as unpleasant as Professor Dolores Umbridge.
You're going to be doing some lines for me today, Mr. Potter.
She was horrible. Dolores is just vile, isn't she?
I want you to write, I must not tell lies.
How many times?
Well, let's say for as long as it takes for the message to sink in. You deserve to be punished, don't you, Mr. Potter?
Here, Hogwarts is in the grip of evil forces. Snape is the new headmaster, and this once magical school has become a place where fear and repression rule. Until the fight back begins.
It seems, despite your exhaustive defensive strategies, you still have a security problem, Headmaster.
When Maggie stepped out and lifted her wand, there was an audible gasp of enthusiasm in the audience. This is going to be really cool. You don't really kind of think of her as kind of the most powerful, dangerous person. It's the first time you really kind of see that.
It's all that question everyone says, where are the good teachers? I'll stand up to this. And obviously they were just waiting for the right moment, and that's it. It's the turning point really within the school. That's the moment when all the students go, yeah, this is it, this is a rebellion.
You remember the conditions on which I brought you with me? This potion might paralyze me.
Why can't I drink it, sir?
Because I'm much older.
The scene where Harry has to kind of essentially poison his father figure was one of the hardest things to do.
It will stop, yes, it will stop. But only if you keep drinking. Don't make me. I'm sorry, sir. No. Just one more, sir. One more, and then I promise I'll do what you say.
Lots himself.
Meet everyone's favourite ginger rebels. It's Ron's older brothers, the Weasley twins.
They embody everything the Weasleys are really about, I think. Mischievous and, tearaways and always cracking a joke.
But it's for this act of pyrotechnical rebellion that we most fondly remember Fred and George.
How many times would you want to do that to your own school? And I think
especially the teacher what no one likes, to have a firework dragon just engulf her and rip all the rules down off the wall.
This being the world of magic, all Harry needs to do to breathe underwater is swallow a clump of magical gillyweed and he's swimming like a fish. But in real life, things weren't quite that simple.
3, 2, 1, breathe her out.
It was a very surreal sequence, and again, it's one of those moments that you go, I'll never probably get to do something like this ever again in my career.
Shut up!
The underwater sequences, it was so huge on that film. Very few films have stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that was it was a hard thing to shoot, but immensely rewarding.
There are many spells available to wizards, but the Patronus charm is amongst the most powerful.
Don't worry, my dad will come. He'll come to the Patronus.
If you look back over all the films, I'm not sure we ever absolutely explained what a Patronus was. It's a representation of the soul, I think.
Here, Harry summons his Patronus using all his powers to defeat the dastardly Dementors.
Expecto Patronum!
It's a chessboard.
Everything in the world of Harry Potter has a magical and often dangerous twist. Even a straightforward board game can become a matter of life and death.
All right. Harry, you take the empty Bishop Square. Hermione, you'll be the Queenside Castle. As for me, I'll be a knight.
It was kind of Ron's first moment, really, where it kind of shows kind of a bit of bravery and kind of a lot of kind of support for Harry.
Ron, no! What is it? He's going to sacrifice himself. No, you can't! There must be another way!
Well, it's checkmate for Ron, but it's not game over for our countdown. Watching 3 child actors grow up on screen has been a genuinely unique experience. Prophetic casting has seen all 3 of them become superstars.
Help me!
Dan had the hardest job of all because Harry on the page is the most difficult, the most nebulous character. He's just been perfect, I think.
Shush.
Rupert's just a genius. I don't think anyone ever needed to tell Rupert how to play Ron. He just has known all the way through. And what was remarkable about Rupert was that obviously comedically he's just spot on. You couldn't teach that.
I think he's got a bit more than friendship on his mind.
Emma, she is stunningly beautiful. She genuinely is very bright. She's very articulate. She's everything you would need to be to play Hermione properly.
Victor's more of a physical being. I just mean he's not particularly loquacious.
Perfect. can't say anything. I can't say anything else. I think I love them, as you can probably tell.
Yeah? What could be more straightforward than a visit to the local wand shop? Sorry, for Harry Potter, nothing is ever easy.
Give it a wave. And a nod.
The provenance of the wands is further, maybe the ultimate testimony to the genius of Joe Alex's storytelling. That when do you ever have your good guy and bad guy going at it with weapons, the ownership of which, and the minds of which, and the hearts of which are key to how the thing will resolve itself.
It is curious that you should be destined for this one when its brother gave you that scar.
And who owned that wand?
We do not speak his name.
Here, the Dementors are back, but in a newly terrifying way.
We decided, Johnny, that the Dementors should have a little bit more of a physical presence. Rather than being more spectral, they should actually have a physical quality to them. And that was great fun, because it really brought them into our world, if you like, and made them even more scary.
They made the Dementors. The Dementors aren't completely CGI. You could walk into Leeson Studios and find racks of these horrible, spooky chamber, horror-y objects dangling there, part puppet and part model. Yeah, they are terrifying. They're horrible.
This is a classic Ron Weasley moment.
Beautiful, isn't it? The moon.
He's eaten a box of chocolates laced with a love potion.
Had ourselves a little late night snack, did we? It was on your paper box. I just thought I'd try one. Or 20. I can't stop thinking about it, Harry.
He's gone off into this dreamy place.
I love her.
Almost in this kind of really weird, like, love trance. It was fun because it's just kind of something kind of different, really.
I'm in love with her. Oh, I'm fine. You're in love with her. Have you ever actually met her? Can you introduce me?
This is a climactic moment in the Potter saga. Harry and his godfather, Sirius Black, are in a tumultuous showdown with Voldemort's minions.
That's one change!
When this happens,
I wanted it to feel quite operatic. That's why it slowed down. Yeah, I wish I'd slowed it down even more, actually. In hindsight, I wanted to sort of really milk it. I tell you who I really love in that scene. I love Helena. And the delight that she takes, both in the moment at which she kills Sirius, but there's a very telling moment as she leaves the chamber, where she kind of just looks pleased.
So why are you here?
as Harry's struggle to defeat Voldemort intensifies, here Ron faces the task of destroying a Horcrux.
Okay, Ron. It takes a lot of courage for Ron to do this, I think. He definitely doesn't want to do it. Because these Horcruxes are powerful and really kind of dark magic.
Can't handle it. I think it affects me more than it affects you and Hermione. All the more reason? No. I can't. Then why are you here?
A Horcrux is an object, whether it's a little amulet or a goblet or a sword, which has within it a bit of Voldemort's power or soul. So when these Horcruxes are destroyed, a bit of him is weakened and taken and destroyed, in fact.
What erupted from the locket was a huge, sort of 15-foot sort of energy source of evil.
Ron Weasley.
Projects all these images of this kind of low self-esteem.
Who could look at you as Harry Potter?
The Dark Lord shall rise again.
Voldemort, the arch enemy of Harry Potter. This moment marks his first ever appearance in the flesh, as he is brought back to life, ready to continue his quest for world domination.
I love the way that Voldemort was formed, and you can feel the energy in the ground start to shake. There's something really gigantically terrifying about it.
Finding an act to play Voldemort was one of the greatest and most important challenges that we had to face. Mike Newell said Ray Fiennes is the only person who can do it. I think we were all petrified that he might say no.
One of the reasons that it appealed to me was this very uncompromising, quite scarily look that had been designed. There were some versions where I was allowed to keep my nose, and then there was a big discussion about the snake-like slits that I think J.K. Rowling describes. Without having surgery, they probably couldn't do that. So
He really relishes performing evil, and physically, he's so impressive in the way that he moves, and yet so creepy.
13 years it's been, and yet here you stand before me, as though it were only yesterday.
I think there's something quite serpentine about the way he moves that I love.
I confess myself disappointed.
Please join me in welcoming the lovely ladies of the Beauxbatons Academy of Magic.
When Hogwarts played host to a wizard's tournament, one particular team sent certain lads into hormonal overdrive.
Bloody hell.
At that time we were like, just get going on about 15.
You know, girls were becoming quite a crucial part of a young man's life.
And all of a sudden they injected some young ladies.
Absolutely gorgeous, every single one of them. That was a fun experience, that. I enjoyed that.